To quote Steve Harvey on Family Feud, we got a good one for you today. And one of them is indeed a Stephen King movie. There have seen some ones that are fantastic, mediocre, and just god awful. But how about one that is truly legend amongst the echelon, the top ones? Carrie, 1976. If you've got a taste for terror, take Carrie to the prom. If only they knew she had the power. All Out Stops Scare Show, says the LA Times. Based on the best selling Stephen King novel, this absolutely spellbinding horror movie from Ebert has become a pervasive pop culture touchstone for anyone who's ever wanted to get even. Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie deliver Oscar nominated performances, and John Travolta and Amy Irving are terrific. This ultimate revenge fantasy that has become one of the all time great horror classics and is now finally offered as a definitive 2-disc collector's edition Blu-ray. At the center of this is Carrie, played by Mary Elizabeth Spacek, a high school loner with no confidence, no friends, and no idea about the extent of her powers, telekinesis. But when her psychotic mother and sadistic classmates finally go too far, the once shy teen becomes an unrestrained, vengeance-seeking powerhouse who, with the help of her special gift, causes all hell to break loose in a framed cinematic frenzy of blood, fire, and brimstone. And of course, Piper Lauren, Roberta Jacobs. I was curious about the name. This is definitely a legendary movie from Brian De Palma. And let's just say let's just say that everything about this is truly magnificent. The performances alone from Spacek and Piper, in the sense of just how she goes from the shy teenager to realizing she's got some power going on, researches it in the library, and when she gets massively punked, and I truly mean massively punked or pranked, and then suddenly we get the prom dress that's soaked in gosh darn blood and leads to this right here. It's like, this is just absolutely legendary. There's the climactic finale, which I'll get to, but just the lead up to it, just the kind of, I would say, the great way how it's handled. It's like there's no frills about it. It's just one of the best horror movies of the 1970s period. Of course, it's based off the book. Stephen King was, what was he, living in a trailer, and he was trying to get some stuff written. His wife, Miranda, said, we're proofreading each other's work, finds this scrap book that was in the garbage bin, and it was like, hey, this is actually really good. Stephen King at first thought it wasn't good, and like they're doing different jobs, like being a teacher and something else, but submitted the book and eventually got $6 million for the darn book, Carrie. Yes. And we've got a truly legendary movie here. What makes this work so well, I guess, of course, it's like, it's the escalation of things. It's like, when she first starts menstruating, it's her period in the gym, all the girls tease her for that because she doesn't know what's going on. Her mother doesn't tell everything. And, eventually a teacher manages to get her trust. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, all that bullying that is still going on. It's happening right here, and it's just sad. Then the mother, who is truly over the top. It's almost cartoonish and comical. She even dresses like a 19th century British cop with the long black cape. It's like if she were to be transported back to said era during London, she would fit right in, just change the jacket to blue. So, it's like, some people at first thought this was like a comedy. I mean, there are like comedy elements to it. It's like, there are some guys talking about tuxedos. They say like, hey, $10 for a tuxedo will make you look good. And then it speeds up a little bit, just the dialogue. I'm like, huh? And eventually, all the girls who were laughing at Carrie, they eventually have to go and perform some stretches and stuff like that. When said gym teacher was comforted Carrie, it's like they have to do these stretches for 3 days, otherwise they get suspended. And it's like, yeah, that is kind of what the punishment you deserve. It's like, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. In this case, if it's like stretching and doing laps and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you kind of want to avoid that, but it's just, it's comical just with the music. And I'm like, all right, I'm liking what I see here. I forgot what's going on. Then, of course, when we get how all these freaking pricks are setting up a prank. The prank of which is like when they pull some strings and they nominate Tommy Ross and Carrie to be prom king and queen, and then suddenly the bucket of blood falls on her. Well, yeah, it's a legendary scene for a reason. I truly, um, way how like just it's like you could tell the setup and everything. Let's have some 70s rock going on. Let's have a slow ballad happening, and then of course let's have the tracking shot that goes over, and then just everything that happens. The split screen, two different angles, the destruction and chaos, the havoc that all just occurs. Truly epic, legendary scene. There's just chaos and carnage everywhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, this has been done many, many times, and it was even done in Prom Night, which I did a review on, which it kind of took influence, and even want to do Halloween review. Excuse me. So yeah, it's just it's truly a perfect movie. Although it's like at the same time it is showing its age just a little bit with a couple of things that I mentioned with the where they're talking about the tuxedos and then the speed increases and maybe like I guess I was waiting for it's like about an hour in I was getting a little bored like waiting for the actual for her to get punked, I guess. Waiting for everything to just come down and the blood was like, okay, it's like I know that the payoff is worth it, but come on. At least reduce it by a couple minutes. I have to admit, a little bored by it just for a couple of minutes. Because like you're waiting for it to happen. And it is worth it. It really, really is. And then when she goes and confronts her mother, who portrays an over-the-top character, one of the themes in Stephen King's book is religion in one form or another, with the hypocrisy or the neutral view of it, I guess one could say. I think that this is, it's definitely unique that a lot of parents need to see it nowadays. Need to read the book and watch this movie for what happens when you go, what could happen if could potentially be over the top. Let's just say that. Piper won, what was it, an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, and it launched the career of Sissy Spacek, who would read about what was it, some religious books and learn about various poses. She would often isolate herself from her cast, not because she disliked them, but just try to get into the character of Carrie White, and she was like, "Hey, I love you all. After this movie is done, let's go film. We'll have some fun after filming, but I need to stay in character." So much so that she actually slept in the same dress for three gosh darn nights just to commit to the character. And I'm just like, that really is committing right there. And I'm just like, dang. I guess maybe I would have liked to see just a little, slightly more, like, I guess, small town destruction, because thematically some of the stuff is like I've read as like the destruction of a small town ethos, and in the book there was like a gas station that explodes because there was kerosene or petrol or whatever, and also shows the effects of bullying, ostracization, social hierarchy, and what happens ultimately when you push a person too far, the revenge that can happen, and when you're, I guess, in this movie, what happens when you show with the when you place too much in when you force too much religion on your children, and you don't look at yourself, be like, hey, am I doing it too much? Ultimately, they will. There could be a chance that they really truly do, I guess, snap, I guess would be the best word. So yeah, I really recommend Carrie. It's freaking fantastic. Just keep in mind, like, a little bizarro tuxedo scene, kind of ish funny music when doing stretches, and the build up towards the legendary climax. But yeah, please do watch Carrie.